Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this the Hindu analysis video. In the morning these videos come, in the evening the MCQ lessons come. So follow both these lessons religiously. 30-40 minutes lesson, this is there in the morning, and Monday to Saturday the Hindu lessons are available, and they are coming both in Hindi and English. And these MCQ lessons are coming both in Hindi and in English and on daily basis. There is no break in the in these week or something like that. So 7 days MCQ lessons are coming. So follow them. Important current affair based edition, and it's a routine that is maintained here. And these are the words that I found today. Now about the most important article today: second shot at power, important for GS paper 2. And I would say that it would make an important topic for essay also. Means the way things are happening in front of us as a citizen, what we are observing here, what is happening in front of us. We expect something from representatives, elected representatives, and they will do something about the crucial problems of basic facilities, water, electricity, poverty, and child rights, women rights issues, law and order situation, and the rights of weaker sections. And how we can protect them. All these crucial things, they demand a lot of what we say that dedication and time they want. But what is happening in front of us? What we are observing? We are observing that they are trying to subdue some other parties. If some party is in power in center, and it has been happening for 4 or 5 decades now, that whatever party is there in the center, that party in center would try to topple the governments in the states which is not their parties. So that is a clear deliberate move, and we have been observing this very intensively for some years now. Now this thing is happening. So what is the motive? The motive is only gaining power. And you see here the Karnataka government which was there, the JDS and Congress coalition was there. There also the speaker, he made some mistakes here, and those are also showing us that things are wrong from both the sides. First, why these resignations, and why these forces, and why these kind of moves by these MLAs that they want to join some other party or they want to resign. Why? When they were chosen, they were taken this responsibility. Then what is the problem? There is no health ground, there is no some other issue, but they are resigning, so that's an issue. So are you here only for the power getting? Are you here only for these ministerial posts that you want to get? Or these parties, they do not have any other task to remain in power and deliver something that is required. So that is the thing that makes it a very important topic for essay. So this is the observation from the current scenario. So today's politics is an important subject to study, because as a UPSC aspirant, these things are very basic and crucial for running this nation. Means the way they are delivering things, and these are the most powerful people, these are the lawmakers, so they will influence the situation a lot, and things are there in their hands more than the bureaucrats, because whatever they will decide, all people will have to follow, because they are the lawmakers. So it's a huge responsibility, but it's also a responsibility for the citizens to observe that in which way these politicians are behaving. And you see, this is the time which has come to a stage where we have ignored a lot of things. We have not raised sufficient questions against these people, and that's why today this is the time that we are just observing the drama which is happening, and we cannot do anything, and they are justifying their cases anyhow. But ultimately we know that this is all a dirty game, dirty politics, and they are ruining all the dreams of these poor people who are struggling. 90 years old lady is struggling on the side of the road just to fill her stomach, and a kid on the red light, he or she is begging in front of some rich people. So do not they have any right? Do not have they any aspiration? And do not we should see their condition? Should not we take some steps to change all these situations? And it demands a lot of scrutiny of some provisions, bills it needs that should come, and major challenges we have: health challenges, cyber challenges, and the world is going on a different path. They are progressing a lot. Many issues are there in their countries also, but here we have many challenges. We are a developing country, and we need utter level of dedications. But what our lawmakers are doing, They are busy in all these things. So that's why it's a very, very unfortunate situation. And what kind of responsibility the majority of the citizens are fulfilling? What responsibility? They are busy on social media and they are just divided. The letter which is sent to Prime Minister, and that letter is requesting that mob lynchings are happening. It is not good and it is happening on a very alarming scale. So take some steps against that. It's a request. Now a different section is trying to cancel that request. They are saying that we are defaming the country. Who are writing these letters to Prime Minister? These are defaming the country, and there is no right to ask the question to the Prime Minister. And he is doing enough. So what is the logic? You see, the clear observation is that country is divided. Totally it is divided, and it is never a good situation, because the people who are writing the letter, first they are requesting to the Prime Minister. First we need to see the logic, what wrong they are doing. If they are trying to defame, then these things can be discussed. Means two sections are there, they are against each other. They can discuss on public platforms and peacefully they can discuss. But there are trollings which are happening, and the people who are writing second time this letter and against those people who are asking those questions, means they are denying that anything is happening like mob lynching, and these are farcical informations and these are false claims. But are these false? Do not we have clear evidences of mob lynchings? That means it's a very dangerous stage, and these are very recognized people. These are people from entertainment industry and great following they have, and they are saying things like that. Means there is a clear divide between people. Why this divide is there? It was not there some years back, but this country is totally divided and they are very much aggressive about their opinions. So that is the situation, and that is totally relatable with the political moves, political campaignings which are at the lowest levels. And that's why these things, these observations are connected with those broad issues. Although these things may be right in their sense, and these things are not unlawful, we cannot say anything like that because MLAs, they have their own right. They can resign if they have any reason. But how much legitimate these reasons are, that is also to be seen, because it was a responsibility of the people that was given to these people. Now they want to resign. Why? What is the reason? People must know, and people must raise these questions. If it is for some joining some other party, if it is regarding a wish to become a minister or something like that, then it is totally illegitimate. But it is allowed because it is not wrong on the basis of law. So when speaker denied their right was that they can resign, but he did not respond to their request, and for 2-3 months it was there with him. Now when the resignation issue came, then he took this step and he dismissed 3 people on the basis of anti-defection law. Anti-defection law is a law came in 1985, and on the basis of defection, there is a provision in Article 164(1)(b), which is there in Constitution. It says that a person who is disqualified for defection could not become a minister without being re-elected to the House. Means there is a provision that if somebody is not elected, that person can become a minister. There is a law, but he or she cannot be a minister if that person is disqualified on the basis of defection. So that person has to be re-elected. That is the case. So now by-elections will be there. 3 people are out of the picture. They are dismissed on the basis of anti-defection. But why this time they have taken this step? That is also a mistake by speaker. But mistakes after mistakes, and according to their own wishes, they are using all the loopholes in the provisions. So that is the major scrutiny here, and how much legitimate these things are on the democratic value level, constitutional value level. We need to see that. And the people who are creating these mishappenings, and why this kind of scenario is there, and why some people are totally in support, some people are totally denying those things, means why country is divided. We need to see every person on the public sphere who is talking about the issue and who is having some following, and people are listening to that person. Suppose I am talking on some issue as a teacher, so there is a parameter, means it should be checked that on constitutional basis, on constitutional value based system basis, am I speaking something legitimate or not? Am I talking on the democratic grounds or not? Am I creating some kind of divide or not? These things should be checked. Today there is a there is a news that a YouTube channel is there, and there they uploaded a very very objectionable song, and it said that जो जय श्री राम नहीं बोलेगा हम उसको कब्रिस्तान भेजेंगे. Means on what grounds you are defining this thing? And you see, this was spread by lakhs of people, millions of people shared that particular song, and they are trolling people by posing that song. Means many people, lakhs of number of people, they are finding this issue allowed, and they are accepting this thing. So objectionable thing. Means on what basis you are saying this? Means you are actually defaming the name of Jai Shri Ram slogan. It's such a holy slogan. I am a Hindu. I know that Jai Shri Ram should never be used like that. Nobody would allow that Jai Shri Ram would be used as sending to people to Kabristan. But this thing is in public sphere. Now that's why it has invited a flag, and these people are arrested. But you see how much strict action would be taken against those people. This is to be seen. And the people who are sharing those things, are these not culprits? Are these not criminals? And this is a clear case. Is this legitimate on the grounds of constitutional values? Is this something we got freedom for? And is this something that we are establishing a peaceful society? Is this the way? No, clearly no. But these things are happening in front of us. But why people are not asking questions on that? And so many intelligent people are silent because they want to save their faces. They do not want any kind of opposition for their opinions, or they do not want to come in front so that nobody would know about their political opinions. But this is not about political opinions. It is regarding a responsibility of a citizen. If I am silent today on these kind of things, if I am not asking questions on these things, then these wrongdoers, their numbers will rise, and there would be a stage when their numbers will so much and they will dominate the scene, and they will do anything. They will run any kind of campaign, they will do anything. They will never go according to the constitution, because they know nobody is opposing that, and nobody is going to run a FIR for these people. So that's the problematic thing. That's the objectionable thing, that people are also silent on these issues, and that's why it is making this topic a very important issue of essay. Means these things are very problematic. Why these things are happening? We have chosen these people for some responsibility, but what they are doing, and consistently we are observing these kind of things. And only thing that is observable here, in an interview after the Lok Sabha election, when this thing was asked to an elected MP, then he said that our aim is to come again after 5 years and to remain here for 10, 20, 30 years. We will remain in power. He never said that we will work for these issues, we will take concern of the poor people, and we will do these kind of things, and this is our aim. This was not his priority. His priority was to remain in power for 20, 30 years for his party. Party is much more important than their countries. So that is the case. So that's why many questions are there on anti-defection law also, that people, if they want to resign, that let them resign. Why anti-defection law is there? And if anti-defection law is there, then on what grounds these things are being followed? And ultimately, what is happening on the public sphere? What citizens are observing in this country? And do not we have any issues which are demanding legitimate dedication and utter level of effort they need? But these people, do they look sincere? Do they look very much concerned about those issues? How much time they are devoting to those issues? And in the way they are passing some laws which are so objectionable that no scrutiny is allowed there, and in which way the system is working, that is highly objectionable. So very dire questions are there. We need to ask that, and that is why it's a very important topic for essay. This overall scenario, the political scenario of this country, and political scenario plus media, plus the public conscience and public collective opinion, in which way these things are taking to this country. So that is the important topic. So this is all here, and you see in this issue, when he disqualified all these people on the basis of anti-defection law, then unlike other forms of disqualification, the one under the anti-defection provision is not accompanied by any ineligibility to the contest. One who is disqualified may contest in very by-election caused by one's own disqualification. Means there is no bar on a disqualified person, because he is disqualified on the basis of anti-defection law. Then he can go for a re-election. That is also a thing. Means we know what this person's intention is. This person's intention is only changing party, remaining in power and getting highest positions of ministers or something like that. Means his only priority is that. But this person will be elected again, because people are behaving in a blind way. They are not observing these kind of priorities. So that is the thing. If any other form of disqualification is there, means the things which are given in the original constitution, means insolvency and taking some other citizenship, then these grounds are legitimate grounds given in the constitution, and president can disqualify these people. So if those grounds are there, then that person cannot be re-elected again. But in this ground, that person can be re-elected again. So by-elections will be there now, because seats are vacant after this dismissal of these MLAs. Now they can go for by-elections, and they can be re-elected. So means there will be no change. There is nothing that happened if their conduct is like that. So that is the bigger question here. Next, Boris Johnson. In some ways, people call him that he is the next Trump. He is a Trump of UK, because many mistakes he has made in the past, and many times he had to apologize for that. He is a provocateur who refers to black people as Pickaninnies, and he says that these people have watermelon smiles. He called Papua and New Guinea people as cannibals. He referred to gay men as tank-topped bum boys, and suggested that colonial powers should reconquer their former empires. Means he believes that Britain should go for these colonial ways again, and he should the Britain should extend its empire again the way it was doing in medieval times. Means this kind of thoughts this person has. Means this thing is going on for whole world. In all countries, these kind of leaders are there who are provoking people and who are making these kind of statements which are fascinating to some sections, and they are very much energetic, but these are not legitimate. Their aim, their consequences are very dangerous. But because these things are popular, why? Because people are frustrated most of the times, and in a frustration phase, they support these kind of rash argument, these kind of sweeping arguments, these kind of powerful arguments. Whether they are going to bring negative or positive consequences, that doesn't matter. But people like these kind of things because they are thrashing someone. So everybody wants to mock some other person. That is the ultimate observation of this world. And this is going on in America, this is going on in UK, this is going on in India, and these things are so common. So that's the problem. So again, the conduct, the morality, the ethical aspect. So on the basis of that, GS paper 4 and essay topic would be important here. Although this article is not important for us, it is regarding UK's condition, and he is a believer in Brexit, but on what conditions, these things are not clear, and he must go for some delays because these things are not solvable today, and he may face a no confidence motion by Labour Party. So that is also not a permanent position for him, and certainly he is a entertainer, a Brexiteer, a premier, and a Jaffer also. So some things are problematic. He is also a product of entertainment industry like Trump, and in which way he is going to solve this very sensitive issue, that is to be seen. But it's a democracy. That is becoming a bigger problem now. Now, new anti-terror law clause will not be misused, says official. We discussed about the UAPA issue yesterday. We saw that how Home Minister warned that his government would not spare terrorists. That is a good thing, that should be there. But he said that or their sympathizers, means who is going to be the sympathizer of the terrorist, and on what grounds you will declare that somebody is a sympathizer of terrorist. The way they have put some people behind the bars, calling them as sympathizers to the terrorist, and the Tukde gang, the anti-national people, or these award wapsi gang, on these kind of basis, on these kind of grounds, if you are declaring somebody as sympathizer and you will apply UAPA law on them, it's a dangerous thing. Why? Because according to those provisions, if somebody is declared as a terrorist or the sympathizer according to Home Minister, or as he also took a name as urban Maoist, which has no ground, it is all a trend on social media. It has no legal ground to call somebody as urban Maoist. So even the Home Minister calls and take this phrase. It's a trend on Twitter. It was a very negative trend, and they targeted some people by these phrases: urban Maoist, urban Naxals. If on these grounds, if somebody would inviting UAPA law, means that person can be declared as terrorist very easily, and only the Home Ministry would need a authentication by these investigative agencies, and they would be convinced. If the Home Ministry is convinced, then they can go for declaring any person as terrorist. And if that person is declared as terrorist, that means most dangerous provisions will be there against him. That person cannot get bail. That person cannot talk to anyone, because he or she will be a threat to the society, because he is declared as terrorist. So many objectionable things are there. If the same way goes on, the way people are targeting some other people, and the way they are targeting people, calling urban Naxals or sympathizers or Tukre gang or something like that, without any legal legitimacy, then things can be very, very problematic. And political pressure is a huge thing in India. It's a huge force, and maybe due to the political pressure and due to some misworking of these investigative agencies, because things will be based on the charge sheets and all, and in charge sheets there is only the side of state. There is no side of the accused person. If they will not listen to that person's case in the starting, and they will give him a charge of terrorist, means it is most objectionable thing. And they are passing this bill without any scrutiny, without any proper scrutiny. They are not giving it to parliamentary committee, and they are just passing it because they have numbers. Then nothing can be more unfortunate, because according to the provisions, this is given. The proposal to designate any individual, means maybe he is not having any history of being involved in these kind of activities. Maybe that person is a scholar, maybe that person is a professor or something like that. But if some proposal is there against that individual, then they can be declaring him as a terrorist. How? The information will then be corroborated through multiple agencies, and then Home Ministry will examine the proposal. Means they will examine the proposal. It is their discretion. And once the minister is convinced, the proposal will be signed by the Home Minister, and that person would be declared as terrorist. Then that person directly can appeal to Home Ministry. Means you just tell me one thing: how easy is that to approach the ministry? How easy is that in this country? That's objectionable. Next, ministry will have to decide on the appeal in 45 days, and then individual can also file an appeal before an independent committee, and the UAPA Act will be applicable. Means these investigative agencies will corroborate, and they will say something, and on those informations, ministry will be convinced. Means convinced means discretion is there. And on what basis? Because the charge sheets, the diary which will be there by these investigative agencies, and this is their own observations and the report. It is not the report by accused. It is not the case of the accused. That is pending. He will be claiming after he is declared as terrorist. Then he will claim that I am not that terrorist. So in this whole process, they can implicate a person. That is the objectionable thing. And this UPA Act came in 1967, and that was also a problematic time, and amended in 4, 8 and 13, and now this bill is there, and now they have majority in both the houses, so they will pass these things, and if these things are passed, they will become a new act. These demand a lot of changes, but these things may not be allowed, and this will pass in the present form, the way they are trying it to be. So that's the case. Next, regarding election funding, a private member's bill is there. Means that person is not a minister. So this bill is by private member, maybe from some other party, or maybe from the same party, but that person should not be a minister. So that person would be called as private member. Private member's bill is there, but hardly it is going to be passed, because they do not have a majority there. The person is from Congress, and he says that state election funding should be there. And this election bonds, these are really problematic, and these are really problematic, because through SBI, these will be bought by these companies or something like that. And the biggest problem is that state directly says that we will not tell you, we will not tell anybody in this country that who is funding to which party. And we know clearly that 90% people, it is the RTI information, which very soon may not be available in the future, because RTI bill is passed. And through RTI we came to know that 90% funding is going to a particular party. So these things are raising many questions. who is giving them funding? Maybe there can be a nexus. There is a possibility that there can be a nexus between the big companies, or there may be shell companies. How do we know that? Because they are not telling us. There may be shell companies and they may be giving thousands of crores of rupees, and there can be a case of crony capitalism. These people may be favored in future after the party has won the election. So there can be a favor, and many suspicions are there. You see the way they are going for privatization. 25 airports will be privatized in the next phase. Just 2 were privatized recently. In the next phase, 25, more than 25 will be privatized. So there can be cases of crony capitalism. How do we know that? Because these things are not available. We cannot know that who is giving funding to his party, and now maybe they will deny these information, the existing information, that which party is getting how much fund. Maybe they will deny those things because RTI is now very weakened now because of the new law that is passed. Okay, so the minister says that the MP says that 70 lakh is the limit, and in any case with 70 lakh rupees you cannot fight the election. That is all apparent thing. We know about that, because 70 lakh rupees are not enough for these elections. So in a way, indirectly, the provisions, they are allowing the corruption, allowing the black money in the election, because with 70 lakh rupees you cannot run an election. And if somebody is honest and somebody wants to run an election with 70 lakh rupees, then it is nearly impossible. So that's why the state funding should be there, so that all informations will be available. But they are just fixed on this issue of election bonds, and SBI is having all the information, who is giving money to which party, and how much powerful SBI is, we all know, because there are allegations on the autonomy of RBI election commission. Then what is the case of SBI? How powerful SBI would be in keeping this information secret, that who is funding whom, who is buying which election bond for which party, so that information is there with SBI. So these are all problematic things, and if these things are not legitimate, then we need to discuss that. Next, regarding the census, only information which is important here, that in 5 years the census for elephants is there, and that is under Project Elephant, that is running since 1990s, and in the recent census of 2017 they said that 27,312 elephants are left. And regarding the Kerala's numbers, in 2017 figures, they said that Kerala had only 3054 elephants, but the Friday numbers, they say that Kerala has 5706 elephants. So there is a difference of around 2700 animals. So there may be a miscount. So they may ask you about this question, that 5 years they take for these censuses, and for tiger census they take 4 years. 4 years gap is there in the tiger census, and 5 year gap is there in elephants census, and for both these animals there are conservation programs. Next, North Korea has went for a particular missile testing. Why? Because F-35 planes of America, they are being bought by South Korea, and that's why North Korea is afraid that South Korea may attack in the future. So they say that North Korea is being maintaining a double standard here. They are talking about the peace talks with the North Korea, but buying F-35 planes, which are very dangerous and most advanced planes by America. So that's the case. And as usual, US is saying that we do not want any provocation here. So North Korea has to end all these testings and all. Next, 9 Indian sailors to return this week, means when these Stena Impero, this ship of UK was captured by Iran in Strait of Hormuz. Then 18 Indian nationals were also there, Indian nationals, and now they took a empty Ria ship again, and 12 Indian nationals are there. Now out of these 12, they are sending 9 back to India, and 3 they are investigating, means total 30 they captured as Indians, and 9 will be free now. So 21 are still left with Iran, and they are investigating the case. Here protests are going on in Hong Kong, and so daringly they are taking these things against China, because China is a very dangerous country, we know, regarding some protests and all, and still these people are so brave and peacefully they are protesting. So it's a great example in this world, in today's times, where states are so powerful, medias are so powerful, but still these people are so united. And some cases were there when they tried to sabotage their protests by sending these criminals in their campaigns, but these people were so smart. The protesters were so smart, they maintained the issue of peacefulness, and they never replied to these people. They they sustained all these injuries and all, but they never fought against those people, and they tried to identify them. And this is the example that we should run a peaceful campaign, and we should be careful that if somebody is coming in our protest and who is sabotaging a whole mission, and they are trying to incite the violence there, but these people were not inciting any violence. Those people were entering in their mobs, and they were trying to sabotage things, but these people were so smart. So it's a great example. The Hong Kong, the way they are protesting, it's a really daring example. So this is all for today. We will meet again tomorrow. One small case of Cambodia and China. China and Cambodia, they are signing an agreement, and here the ream installation is there. You can see Cambodia, this is Vietnam, this is Laos, Thailand, Myanmar, Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, and Indonesia here. So South China Sea and all around the South China Sea, these countries are located. Spratly Islands are there and Parcel Islands are there. So China says that these islands are mine, and because these islands are mine, then the territory around them means 200 nautical miles is the exclusive economic zone for any territory for the country. So China says that this area, whole area is mine, because the 200 exclusive economic zone area is mine, and that is illegitimate, because this is the South China Sea area, this is the territory of China. If China says that these are mine, then what about these countries' claims? They are also having their own claims, but China is capturing their rights. And here Cambodia is there. Its opening is in this Bay of Thailand and Gulf of Thailand. Sorry, not Bay, Gulf of Thailand. And here the ream installation is there. It's about 190 acres, and 62 acres are given to whom? To China. So this way, it's kind of a disturbance in the future. Certainly, it is going to be, because these countries will protest against that. Already, there are issues between Philippines and China, that China is trying this area to capture, and China says that it is an area of 9-dash line. The red one you can see, this is called a 9-dash line. It's a maritime claim by China in this South China Sea whole area. China says it is mine. The Scarborough Shoal is there, and these all areas they may be asked. Okay, they may ask you about Spratly Island, Parcel Island, and that's the issue. Krak Canal is also important. Here it is Krak Canal. It is the Thailand's area. It is Malaysia. It is Thailand, and it is Krak Canal. And China is planning a $28 billion fund project here. It's going to be a canal, and it is going to join this South China Sea with Indian Ocean. So they may ask you about all these details. And next, Michael Phelps record, 100-meter freestyle record is being broken by Caleb Dressel. He has broken it, and within 49.50 seconds, he has crossed 100-meter length. So it's a great thing. So you see, the world is going great, and they are supporting their athletes. But what is the condition of Indian athletes? Recently, Hima Das has won 5 medals, unprecedented, historical. But how much coverage she has got in media, we have to see. And in comparison to all these nonsensical religious divisive debates, how much inspiration the media gave to normal public, because where public is busy, we have to see on the next page. And the support they gave, they talked about the Duti Chand's case, the case of Mohammad Hassan. They all have won medals, and in those areas where India was not winning, but these people have won great medals there. So very limited support is there in India, but in America, you see, they are breaking world records and all, and great support is there. And these people are very famous, and these people are getting state support a lot. So the conditions are totally different. Why? Because the priority and the main ambience in the country, that supports some particular cause. What is the priority in this country? You just see. The Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, he says cows exhale oxygen. Satyapal Malik, a minister, union minister, for third time in the parliament, he says that evolution is wrong, and people are kids of Rishi Munis. They are never a child of apes or monkeys. Means, what kind of logic is that? He says that Rishi Munis are the ancestors, but from where Rishi Munis came? What about that logic? He doesn't say anything about that. He says that nobody saw a man turning from ape to a man. So I will not accept that. Means the whole theory is the evolution, the homologous, homogeneous organs, the finding of these bones and all. This is all false. And according to him, means if this logic is applied, means we should halt all those operations where we are trying to find some life forms on some other planets. Means we should not go for Titan, and we should not go for any kind of life forms, because there is no evolution. According to him, we should go and try to find Rishi Munis there on those planets, because they can only give birth to humans. So whole evolution is wrong. Means union minister, and he was a IPS before becoming a minister, and now a chief minister of Uttarakhand. He says cows exhale oxygen, and that logic of clouds and radar, we all know about that. Means the highest position wielding people, what they are talking. So what kind of inspiration, what kind of knowledge they are spreading in this country? They are intentionally killing the conscience of the normal public in this country, which is already threatened. The knowledge system is already threatened in this country. The condition of education is so bad, and the higher education is totally perilous. And here in this age, these people in this 21st century, they say, one high court judge, he was saying, Rajasthan high court judge, he was saying that the peacock that gives birth to the next generation, when the female is drinking the particular tears of males, and this is how they give birth. So this is the way they are talking about situations. Maybe those things are true, I do not know. I'm not saying that these things are not true. Maybe this is true, but what is the legitimacy? What is the proof? Before proof, you are calling them as science, highest level of science. On what grounds? What kind of a patent you have on those informations? What kind of patent you have that Gomutra can cure cancer? Ministers are saying that Gomutra cured my cancer, but what is the legitimacy? Where is the patent? Where is the proof? Why you are intentionally giving these kind of knowledges to people which are not proved? And that's really problematic. And this song which was spread, that Jonah bole Jai Shri Ram bhej do usko Kabristan. Are we accepting these things? Why we are not raising questions, and why these people are trolled who are asking questions? You see, so less people are asking questions these days, and it is very easy to troll these people because their numbers are so less. Maximum number of people who are knowledgeable, but they are not raising any questions. It is the responsibility to ask questions against these kind of things, but they are not asking questions. Why? That creates a problem, and in future there will be very less number of people, and it would need a lot of amount of courage to ask questions, legitimate questions, because the maximum number of people, they are not asking questions today, and they are actually giving a silent support to these wrongdoers. So that's a legitimate question, and it's a problematic thing, and we cannot go away from our responsibilities to talk about these issues. Really problematic these things are. We need to discuss all those things, and we are not saying that kill these people who are saying this. We are not saying that send these people to some alien planet. We are saying that discuss these things. Are these things justified? Why the debates and all these divisive debates are supporting these kind of claims? Why ministers are supporting these kind of claims? Really questionable. Thanks a lot. Keep watching. It is amazing.